Hey, this is Allie Edwards, and welcome to a look at my process video for week 15 in Project Life 2018. I am working with my photos already in place, as many of you have probably seen before. I usually start with all of my 4x6 photos in those 3x4 or those 4x6 pockets, as well as a few 3x4 photos thrown in if I have extra ones during the week. And then I go about the process of adding in cards, adding the date, those sorts of things. One of my favorite things to do is to have some repetition across the photos. I don't always do it this way, but I often do. And in this week, what you are going to see is that I am using some transparent days of the week. I believe these were an add-on option for either the story kit or the stories by the month. In a past month, I just had them here on my desk as a supply to grab. But I love whenever there's something that's easily repeated like that. So I love days of the week. I love embellishments that can be repeated over and over again. I'm just a big fan of the repetition. I think it keeps it really simple. It keeps it less complicated. You don't have to feel like you have to add something new to every single photo. I think sometimes that is really what can get people stuck, or just make it take way longer. Like when you think about how many weeks you may have to work on or how many projects you want to work on, that can just make it more complicated. So for me, especially when I'm catching up, which is what I'm doing here, I'm working on April right now in this project. I want it to be quick and easy, and I still want there to be the focus on the photos and the words. And that's really what you're going to see in this spread overall. So I started by adding those transparent words. You can see that I'm also picking off has a film on top of them, or a cover on top of the transparent pieces. And then what I decided to do for my journaling is I decided to just use white paper. I'm actually using photo paper because it's quick and easy on my Epson PictureMate P400 printer. And I am just setting up the journaling that I want, printing it on a white card, and then adding a puffy sticker that's from a number sticker sheet. It's just a little asterisk there. And I'm just putting it on the top of each one of the stories that I'm adding into those 3x4 pockets. I decided to do that rather than handwriting. I go back and forth. I have a mixture of handwriting in my album alongside typed journaling. Oftentimes when I'm doing typed journaling, it's coming directly from Instagram. So I use Instagram as a place to hold my stories. But it's also, in this case, I didn't have a lot of Instagram posts from this week. So I'm just looking at the pictures and telling stories about what I see in the pictures. So in this case, I told a story about Simon almost being as tall as Chris. I told a story about Simon getting his driver's permit. And then I also told a story about Anna and how she keeps talking about wanting glasses. So that's what is over on the left side there, the photo next to her. So keeping it super simple allowed me to get this done quickly. It's focused on the words and photos. There's not a lot of extra decoration. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I do less. It really just depends on what my level of motivation is, how many stories I have to tell, and how many other projects I have going on at the same time. I know some of you out there do projects that have really specific beginnings and ends. Maybe you join me for December Daily or for Week in the Life or Day in the Life. But Project Life is something that is ongoing. And I still love this project, and I'm totally happy to be catching up because I love looking at these albums. Like, they really do make me happy because they are capturing stories from our everyday life rather than being directed by anything else. So on this one, the last thing I decided to add were a couple of the oval chipboard stickers. These are from the April Stories by the Month kit. If you're interested in monthly theme-based memory keeping kits that have cards and embellishments that are kind of specific to the month, you should check out my Stories by the Month subscription. That's what I use in a lot of my Project Life pages these days because they are universal enough to be used in specific months, but also in other months as well. There's usually a few generic, just the story kinds of cards thrown in alongside things that match up with what's happening over the course of the year. So that's the Stories by the Month subscription, and you can learn more about that by clicking on the link below. Let's look at week 15, 2018.